Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Tech and Talk. Today I am going to share with you one of my tools which I use for my learning. This is a feed provider kind of tool, and it provides me the top list of blog posts from different technical writer. Either it's a person, the Microsoft MVPs, or the website. So, before sharing with you the code components, I can give you the overview of the tool from the UI perspective. Let me quickly run it. So it will appear like this. It's a WPF based application. On the left side, on the top left corner, you can see there's a form where we can add a new website, a new blog, and it will start appearing in this list. As soon as I double click any of that item in from this list, I can get the latest blog post from its RSS or atom based feed on the go in real time. So you can see from developer.com we have these blogs from last few days, and same goes to you can see grapecity.com. It's fetching in the background. I know the loader part is missing, but it works for me. You can see it's now started appearing in the main panel. So these are the posts from that blog. As soon as I click any of that item, I will have that open in a browser. Currently it's got crashed. I can see how it's been crashed. So what if I double click this one? I can see it opened here in my browser. It's working fine. I will double check why it was crashed for grapecity.com, but I will it should work perfectly fine. Okay, so this is how we can click and read that blog post um, from that blog, and we can set its priority. So if you can see, there is a priority -1. So this is on ascending order, and as soon as I update that priority, it will start appearing at the bottom somewhere. So as soon as I read and I agree the quality of the content is up to a certain mark, I updates priority so that those blog list is those that blog is on the top of that list, so that I can read anytime from there. So you can see there are a couple of websites in that list at the moment. So I usually read blog posts from these technical writers. Okay, what about these two buttons? So this is a way to manage that blog post on the clipboard, and as soon as I add that, it will keep the record of that entry. And as soon as I click on that clipboard menu and I choose any of that option, I can copy to clipboard, um, I can show the clipboard text. At the moment, if I click, the clipboard text is empty, and if I add from here and I copied that one to clipboard, and if I show the clipboard text, you can see it started appearing here in my clipboard. So this is how I can select any of those posts and make sure that those are copied for me for later to use later on whenever I want. So and at the top there is a kind of dashboard UI which give me stats of total blogs. So at the moment there are 46 entries here in the list. Yeah, I can see those are not 46. It seems that some of entries I deleted later on, but currently all the stats are getting shown here in the in that widget. But still today's post and latest last day's post are still 00, which means these features are still need to be implemented. So this is kind of basic tool which give me a lot from learning perspective. Even I can search from that list. Let's say I search for def. I can see only these number of blocks which has that def keyword, and if I remove and enter it will reset. So I have that all that basic functionality there in the tool. If I open the GitHub, let me show you the project on the GitHub. Yeah, so let me sign in. So currently I am the only collaborator and the owner of that repo, but um, I'm I will be more than happy if anyone wants to participate on implementing a feature on that tool. So if I go to my repos here, and from that list I search for daily mature dev. Here you can see that yeah, so this is the tool that I just shown on my screen by running that tool. So you guys can participate on that by just by, you can fork it, you can raise issues if required. I think I added few issues couple of months back, probably a year ago. So from last year I'm using this tool for myself. Just want to share that how I usually get technical updates from different bloggers or from different tech websites, and how I have implemented I can share that now. So from structural perspective it's most like the same as I did in my store management system. You can check out on Tech and Talk. If you search in the playlist you can find the whole playlist we have implemented using ASP.NET MVC.NET 7.0 with entity framework, and we have used SQL Server as a database. So you can, once you have seen that series, you will see that the core structure is almost the same, where we have a domain as a central part of the project, which includes all the domain models and logic for data and the business. If we open the domain model, currently we have only two. One is site model that you have seen in the list. So in that list, we have the name of the site, the URL, and the priority, and the ID is for the database. Temp link is the one which I use to copy the information on my clipboard. This is for feed post ID, the title, URL, and author, right? So at the moment, I have only these two um, entities in my domain model. From data perspective, you can see we have DB context with those two DB sets. which is understandable. And we have on configuring, we have used SQLite in that WPF application. And yeah, other parts are pretty much the same. In the business side, we have again the business model almost the same as the domain models, and we have the mapping from AutoMapper as well to convert the data between to move the data between business model and the data model to and fro. Okay. Next, after domain, we can have infrastructure, and here we have some common classes. I put I options there in that library. Then we have communication. In communication, we only have SMTP service. Because at some point I was posting, those list of blogs which I like the most daily. So I used to post that to blogger.com, and there is a way that we can email to a certain email address, and um, it will be posted onto your blog. I will share that mechanism in detail in my coming posts, but for now, just you can get the overview that why that SMTP service was implemented. So pretty much standard the SMTP service in the from the app settings. I were picking some settings, and that was related to from and the server and the port information. And the again we have one library which is Google authentication, and I was writing that and it was in the middle of something, but yeah, currently it I haven't used that one. Yeah, later on at some point I will share that detail as well, why it was required and what I was trying to do here. And in the last we have some services where we have clipboard services, feed service. Clipboard is to deal with the clipboard or the Windows clipboard, um, to copy and to read the data to and from that clipboard. Then we have feed service, that is a custom service I wrote to um, support both Atom and RSS based feeds. Then again the model mapper. Yeah, I agree. There is a duplication between the mappers. One mapper we have here in the infrastructure services, and one is here in the business here. So I just really got that one. Let me add a to do on the top of here, and we should refactor this piece of code. Same duplicate from infrastructure services. All right, so let's keep that one. And yeah, so that was all from that layer, the infrastructure layer, and then we have presentation, which is the front end part of the application. Currently, I have three projects there. One is CodeWiki, which I am not going to share at that point. It's something which is under development. You can check out the details in my repo. It's public repository. You can fork or download the code and double check it. And the last project is related to the website, which is also kind of in the very beginning, at the very starting point of it. I will rather explain the desktop application, which is dailydev.desktop. So this is the main WPF application which is currently running. You can see here. So this is all the application where we have the core, helpers, images, options, view models, views, and this startup file which is app.saml. And if I go to the code part, you can see there is a lot of configurations added which are required at the very start of the application. So if we see, there seems some duplications as well here, and yeah, let me add to do here as well. Maybe we need to look at that for refactoring point. Potential duplicate. Okay, and then we have configure services and then build, and we are starting the application here. So these are the two events which called on the startup and the exit of the application, and we have added some configurations to very start of the application. You can see the main window is getting constructed and it will start appearing, and on the exit we are double checking if not if we are basically um, disposing the host after calling its stop async method, and once it's done it will be disposed straight away. So this is a kind of not an overview, this is kind of introduction to that tool, and the main part of this application lies somewhere, I think here in the view models, where we maintain all those lists and those bindings. So desktop model have a lot of those bindings available through commands. And for the command, I have used mvvm cross for the commands and the binding with the view model properties. So that help and remove the requirement of that boiler code. Okay, so and we have email options here as well, which seems to be a potential duplicate as well. It should be somewhere in the infrastructure instead of here. Potential duplicate. All right, and then we have the HTML helpers. Okay, we can keep that here, and in the code we have that delegate command, the custom implementation of I command interface, and what else we have? We have views, and in the views we have first of all that dashboard view, the post view, and the clipboard view, right? This is very small and kind of utility application for developers to read their favorite blogs on the go. Just double click and pull all the latest information, the basically the post from that blog, and read on your active browser. So that was an introduction of that tool. That is the repo. You can add request if you want to, see any of that feature that you want, or you can participate in that, you know, code base. You can create your pull request, and I will review and merge if that seems useful. And later on in this series, I will start adding and developing that tool and making that tool much more usable and mature, so that we all can uh, sharp our skills by reading those blogs from different um, technical leaders in that industry. Uh, yeah, in case of any question, curious to ask in the comments, and happy coding.